From First Coast News, this is Good Morning Jacksonville.
Good Monday morning to you. It's July 3rd. I'm Lou Turner.
And I'm Jessica Clark, filling in for Keitha Nelson this morning. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Nice to be here. So let's get to your top stories at 6:30. A fifth child has died after drowning on the First Coast. Police say a 4-year-old girl named Kiara Williams died after going into a swimming pool during a 4th of July party on the west side Sunday evening. 4 other kids have drowned in Arlington, Mandarin, Yulee, and Keystone Heights since June 20th.
And developments in a road rage case that killed an incoming JU freshman. This out of Pennsylvania, where police say a man is now in custody facing murder charges in the death of 18-year-old Bianca Roberson. Now her family is speaking out this morning. We'll share what they have to say coming up in your power block of news in just a few minutes.
And if you're outside tonight, maybe shooting off some neighborhood fireworks in advance of the 4th of July, maybe watch down towards the Space Coast. Have that eye to the sky as SpaceX will launch some serious fireworks tonight. Another rocket from Cape Canaveral had to abort last night's launch of the Falcon 9 just seconds, literally 9 seconds before takeoff because of a technical issue. The launch window tonight opens just after 7:30. We will be watching meteorologist Mike Prangley in the house with a forecast for our holiday. Hello, Mike.
Good morning. Yeah, it could be one of those nights where we see the rainbows, some blue, and you can maybe even pick out the rocket if they can get that off the ground. So as we take a look at our big picture, yes, happy 4th of July weekend continues. Beautiful start out at St. Augustine. If you're heading to St. Augustine Beach or Jacksonville Beach, plenty of good beach weather, but not totally rain-free. We're going to have to keep an eye to the sky by 2 p.m. But notice, this is mainly a sunny day, isn't it? These storms aren't going to last long. By 4 o'clock, I have any storms clearing off the coast, so our precision forecast showing this. We've got the Riverwalk with that daily downpour, 2 o'clock, Tinseltown by 3. Rain time, though, less than 2 hours for all of us. Rain chances at 60% and about a ½ inch of rain and some of those gully washers, but not lasting long and not long enough to cancel the shrimp game. In fact, I'm not even expecting a rain delay tonight. 7:05 first pitch, 81 degrees. I'll have your World Golf Village fireworks forecast and the 4th downtown coming right up. But first, Katie Jeffrey's doing a great job. Great tips in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you so much, Mike. All right, so let's take a live look here. This is I-95 near County Road 210. Looks like we've got a truck over on the side on this ramp here along I-95 and County Road 210. So watch out for that officer there. Now let's take a live look here at your traffic maps. We do have an accident to talk about. This is I-295 northbound near the ramp for I-95 northbound. So at the north end of town, kind of just near the airport. No lanes there are blocked, though it's on the shoulder, but still look out for the officers on scene there as well. Also around 11:30 last night, there was a woman hit and killed. She was walking along New Kings Road northbound near Densmore Tower Road. She was hit and killed. The northbound lanes were closed for some time, but they have since reopened here along US 1. Back to you.
All right, Katie, thank you. Some good news for people living in Green Cove Springs. A boil water advisory was lifted Sunday after a water main broke on State Road 16 last Thursday. So if you live in the west or southern parts of town, the city says the water is now safe to drink.
This was an incredible story from the weekend. A fast-moving suspect captured after police say he went on a crime spree in the Heritage Landing neighborhood very near World Golf Village Saturday night, right off the King and Bear. A 25-year-old from Pembroke Pines, Florida, by the way, Kevin Fair, now behind bars in St. Johns County. Police say the spree started around 7 o'clock Saturday night, but the sun is still out at this point, so it's still daylight. It lasted about 20 minutes. So let's talk about all that happened in this tight-knit community. It started when police say Fair broke into a house on Rivers Own Road. You see it there. After that, officers say he ran to a house a couple of blocks away, went inside and stabbed a couple in the house before stealing their sports car, doing it right in front of deputies, apparently, who were outside. So police chased Fair around the whole neighborhood until they say he crashed the sports car into a pond behind 2 of those homes. Someone who was riding their bike in the area narrowly avoided injury here too. Police say that cyclist saw Fair driving at them in the neighborhood during part of that chase, but managed to jump off the bike. Fair then apparently ran over that bicycle and damaged the car he was in. So let's go ahead and got a tally of charges here already that we're dealing with. A neighbor sent us these videos from the cell phone in the backyard there of Fair being walked back to police cruisers after his arrest. And those who live in that area say that it's a relief. They're thrilled to death that deputies managed to catch Farah before he went any further.
Scary that it's right here in your neighborhood. But again, these people, he wasn't from here, so why he picked us randomly, who knows?
Yeah, who knows? Again, not from the area, well off 95, hidden neighborhood there, very protected. Now, Farah will face charges. If you listen to the list I just mentioned, we'll just quickly go through them. You have burglary, vehicle theft, fleeing from police, aggravated battery, also false imprisonment for holding the two stabbing victims in their own homes. Now, as for the victims, the man in the situation was taken to Orange Park Medical Center in critical condition while his wife suffered non-life-threatening injuries. We'll keep you updated on the condition of that gentleman as the day progresses. Jessica?
Wow. Okay, Louis, thank you. Today is the deadline for state health officials in Florida to come up with rules over how Florida's new medical marijuana law will be enacted in communities. The rules have to go into effect in October. The amendment says that medical marijuana can now be prescribed in Florida, but patients cannot consume it by smoking it. Local governments in St. Johns County and Jacksonville Beach have already approved moratoriums, putting medical marijuana sales on hold for now. We know a lot of you will spend your 4th of July out on the water. We hope it's going to be so nice out there. Well, now local law enforcement agencies want to remind you about boating rules you'll have to follow.
So the same laws that apply to drunk driving, your car on the road, apply to boating as well. And DUI arrests on the water tend to increase during the holidays, just like they do with driving vehicles. We spoke to some folks who are experienced on the water and tell us that, of course, boaters need to be extra careful.
Honestly, driving a boat is harder than driving a car because the road doesn't move. You know, your car will stay still if you don't move it, but your boat's going to keep moving. You have to be more alert.
So a blood alcohol level of 0.08, it's the same limit for boaters as it is drivers. Boating drunk could result in spending a year in jail or paying a $5,000 fine. Keeping in mind the difference here is passengers on the boat can drink openly. It's just the person who is operating cannot drink alcohol, cannot get to that 0.08.
That's a good point.
Different, of course, in a car where, you know, open container laws.
Sure.
A ship that will soon call Naval Station Mayport home, now officially in the water. You got photos here from the Lockheed Martin Company showing the christening of the future USS Billings in Wisconsin Saturday. The littoral combat ship still being worked on, though, and according to our partners at the Florida Times-Union, the program manager for the Navy's littoral combat ship says the ship needs water to run a lot of the systems, so they can now be tested now that it's actually in the water. So all that's done, the ship's going to sail to Mayport.
All right.
Yeah. All right, trending online for you this morning, a sheriff's deputy being praised after going above and beyond for a man who certainly would have and could have been arrested.
Yeah, the Alachua County Sheriff's Office says a suspect was caught stealing $5 worth of food from Publix because he was starving. And so Deputy Townsend decided to pull out his wallet instead of his handcuffs, and he bought food for that man.
The Alachua County Sheriff's Office said it's thankful to have folks like Deputy Townsend on staff who put service over self. Certainly so, you know, kindness going so
Wasn't
far
that
and
nice?
a lesson learned for sure.
Yeah.
One state's governor called a hypocrite in the midst of government shutdown at 6:49 why Chris Christie is under fire this morning.
But first, expect heat and humidity for your 4th of July. Mike is back with your forecast, and count them 3 minutes.
You're watching Good Morning Jacksonville.
Already seeing some activity in the tropics this hurricane season. But today, meteorologists at Colorado State are going to release their next hurricane outlook and update. Those very same scientists first predicted we'd see 13 named storms this year, but they may increase that number, all depending on what they've seen and what has changed. That's the wonderful thing about a forecast. You can update things. We've got some activity in the tropics to talk about now, though. You've got meteorologist Mike Prangley and Katie Jeffries hanging out together. Now, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Good morning. Yeah, and I always say, as long as we can keep the tropics quiet for July 4th, usually you have a decent weekend, and that's what's happening out there.
I'll take it.
Okay, let's check it out, though, Katie. We got to check out our tropical disturbance. The Hurricane Center now giving a 70% chance for development, but look how far out it is, right off the coast of Africa right now. It has to overcome a lot of dry air, but if it does, it could actually be near St. Croix, St. Thomas as we head into late weekend this weekend. Notice it's traversing across right around the periphery of the Azores High. And then as it holds together maybe next week, may not be far from the Bahamas. Right now it looks like a trough will try to pick it up, but it's way too early to speculate. Another reason to check back on your weather apps. But I got to show you this picture. A seahorse. Toby Welburn sends in our postcard pic of this beautiful orange seahorse there, and she was at Steinhatchee. So we've got scalloped seahorses and sunshine in the forecast. Those pygmy seahorses are the slowest moving fish. They don't really swim. They just hold onto the seagrass with their tail.
That is the bullet points version of the hour-and-a-half biology
and they're
lesson.
The smallest fish.
that I've been
they're
getting.
Only an inch or two.
On the pygmy
I could go
seahorse.
on. I'm just amazed.
All right, let's talk about your traffic out there this morning. We'll get back to the seahorse in a second. So if you're traveling out towards the beaches maybe for the 4th of July, please remember State Road A1A tomorrow, 3rd Street out there at the beaches. You will see some lane closures, mostly along the turn lanes, and please look out for bike and pedestrian traffic as well. Now also, you want to bring some cash to park. Parking's limited out there towards the beaches, especially Jacksonville Beach. So bring cash and you can park probably in some of those lots, but it might be a little expensive. Yeah,
so for those seahorses, they're found in, the periphery of the Gulf of Mexico and the seagrass and off in the Atlantic Ocean. You can even catch some off the coast here. But usually they're just something you see and then you want to let them go back to where they belong.
Fascinating information,
okay.
Mike. Back to you guys.
Thank you. You know what? He's just trying to make us all smarter, and I respect him for that. It's 6:43, and still to come, one teen's bright future cut short. Up next, hear how Jacksonville University is responding after one of its future students was killed in an alleged road rage incident last week. Plus, the United States steps in to push ISIS out of a stronghold in Iraq. The role America is now playing in Mosul when your power block of news returns in 2 minutes' time. Stay right there. You're watching Good Morning Jacksonville this Monday morning. 6:45, time now for your power block of nonstop news before Good Morning America and the Today Show takeover. Police are now investigating yet another drowning here on our First Coast.
So sad. A 4-year-old girl named Kiara Williams died after going into a swimming pool during a 4th of July party on the west side last night. Police are not really sure how long she was in the pool. This is the 5th child drowning we have seen on the First Coast in the past 3 weeks.
A man from South Florida now behind bars in St. Johns County accused of going on a crime spree in one neighborhood in a span of 20 minutes Saturday. Police say 25-year-old Kevin Farrer broke into a house, stole a car, stabbed 2 people in another home. After that, he allegedly stole their car and drove it into a pond, where he was then arrested. Farrer faces numerous charges now. Full recap of those events on our website, firstcoastnews.com. And developing, this out of Pennsylvania, a teenager who would have been coming to Jacksonville University in just a few weeks as a freshman, killed in a road rage incident.
And now police say the man who killed Bianca Roberson is behind bars. Alex Ositis joins us live from JU with the latest on this case. Good morning, Alex.
Good morning, Jessica. And Bianca Roberson would have been walking around JU's campus in just over a month, but tragically her life cut short, and police say they have new developments in that case. A man turning himself into police just yesterday morning. Now, they also say they've recovered some evidence from the man's home. Here is some video taken from Pennsylvania. You can see they're removing that red pickup truck believed to be used in this road rage case. They also say that they believe they found the gun used in the case at the home of David Desper, the man who turned himself in. He's 28 years old, now facing 1st and 3rd degree murder charges, as well as some other charges in this case. Now, police add that they are continuing their investigation, but JU releasing a statement after these latest developments saying that they plan to memorialize Bianca. They are still in the works on those details, but her family also weighing in. This is what her mother and father had to say.
What's wrong with people's minds today that we flip out like that?
She wasn't the type of person that would cause a person to want to shoot her.
Also happening this weekend, the father of Jordan Davis, the Jacksonville teen killed a few years ago in a similar rage incident, taking to social media, posting on Facebook he wanted to express his condolences to the Robertson family, also trying to get in touch with them. This is a story that we're continuing to follow. We'll have another update for you coming up today at noon. Reporting live from Arlington, Alex Ositis, First Coast News.
Time right now, 6:49. Looking at your top national, international stories this morning. Shaping up to be a very big week for President Donald Trump. With Congress now on break for the 4th of July, he's focusing on international relations, heading to the G20 summit in Germany now, where he'll meet Russian President Vladimir Putin for the first time since taking office. Protesters, though, hit the streets in Hamburg this weekend, calling for more action on things like inequality and climate change from all of the G20 leaders, not just the United States, I should emphasize. The U.S. military is now helping Iraq drive ISIS out of one of its longtime strongholds, but not anymore, it seems. American advisors are providing intelligence and tactical advice to get the last few militants of ISIS out of Mosul. Iraq has been trying to reclaim that city for 8 months now and says the battle for Mosul is drawing to a close. This one's going viral. Out of New Jersey, the state's going through a government shutdown after lawmakers could not pass a budget last week. So the governor, Chris Christie, ordered that the beaches be shut down. However, this weekend, Christie himself was spotted on a state beach where the public wasn't allowed. There he is with his family. He admitted, though he didn't really have to, we got the picture, but he admitted he did go to the beach yesterday, but didn't say anything more than that. The qualifying rounds are over, and the oldest tennis tournament kicks off today in England. Superstar Serena Williams will sit this one out this year as she awaits the birth of her first child. On the men's side, Andy Murray will hope to make it 3 Wimbledon in a row. He's a hometown hero, of course. After winning last year's Wimbledon, he won gold in London, won the Wimbledon before that as well. So, I mean, he knows the grass courts pretty well.
He knows a little bit about the sport.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah. All right, well, thanks. So, gosh, look at that outside this morning, Jacksonville Beach. Oh, you just love it when you can see that sun come up. Meteorologist Mike Prangley with another look at your forecast. Things are looking kind of nice, right, Mike?
They are. Special thank you to Laura Sather for that picture. And check this out. This is County Road 210, one of the brightest double rainbows I've ever seen. This was on Friday, and I show you this because we're in a rainbow kind of pattern. You need sunshine and rain, right? Okay, so the sunshine reflects out of the backside of that raindrop, and we're going to see both today, but I think more sun than rain. Here's what I mean. Precision forecast. Well, we've got more of these hit or miss storms, so 40% by the time you go to the west side for that pop-up storm to 60% from Mandarin off to the beaches, including Arlington and downtown. But it's not going to stop the jumbo shrimp. We're talking about the rain clearing downtown as early as 6 o'clock. So 7 o'clock first pitch, 81 degrees. In fact, St. Johns County World Golf Village fireworks are tonight. Now I've got a 40% chance of a pop-up storm, but notice it's out of the King and Bear and out of the World Golf Village by 4:30 p.m. So it's looking like a go with 80 degrees, a slight chance of rain. Tweet those pictures to FC and to go. And then up toward Georgia, just a slight chance of a shower storm. But we could see a quick popper up toward St. Simon's Pier by 2:30 and Fort Clinch Park and Amelia as we head toward 3:30. But overall, here's the pattern. We're talking about splash and dash, not just for today, but tomorrow. And here it is for downtown Jacksonville to St. Augustine, the fireworks show on Tuesday, our 4th of July. Yeah, any storms that pop will be quick between 4 and 7, and they're gone. And we can fire up the grill and celebrate for the 4th of July. In fact, you can lay on the cot there and enjoy and celebrate our country's birthday. 93 would be the pop-up storm at 4, and then drying out for those evening plans, including the grill out weather. Chances go from 60% of rain today, 40% for the 4th, and more good beach and pool weather throughout the week. Now let's get to Katie Jeffries in the ViStar Credit Union Traffic Center.
Thank you very much, Mike. All right, let's take a look here. Beautiful sunrise out there, and you can see some of the roadways. It looks like I-95 as you would lead towards the I-10 kind of merger area, but traffic moving overall pretty well. We got 2 accidents to talk about, so let's get right to it here with your traffic maps. The first one is 295 northbound, the ramp to I-95 northbound. This is the side towards the airport, but no lanes there are blocked. Down towards the St. Augustine area along State Road 16 and Passetti Road. There was an accident there, but the roadway's clear. It looks like it's been moved into that Publix parking lot. Traffic overall today, it's not too bad. Of course, you are going to have a little bit of congestion, but a lot of people have today off or are working from home today, so traffic might be a smidge lighter. Back to you.
Thank you, Katie. It's 6:53. Time for the top stories to help you get out the door this Monday morning. The Florida Highway Patrol asking for help to identify a woman who was hit by a car and killed on New Kings Road Sunday evening.
Investigators say a woman crossed the road just after 11 last night and was then hit by a car. Police have only said she's a white woman. If you know anything about this case, please call the Florida Highway Patrol.
Another violent weekend in Jacksonville yet again. Police are now investigating 3 shootings. All happened on Sunday. In the most recent of these shootings, an 18-year-old was shot near 48th and Dodge Streets. Another person was shot on West 25th Street Sunday morning. 2 more were shot along Phillips Highway. 1 man died in that situation. If you know anything, you can remain anonymous. You can be eligible for a cash reward as well. Call Crime Stoppers 866-845-TIPS. A Neptune Beach woman accused of killing her mother and then kidnapping her own son is now awaiting extradition back to Duval County.
Marla DeAndrea was arrested at Orlando International Airport Friday. Police say she killed her mother in Jacksonville Beach before trying to escape with a 7-year-old boy, and we're still not sure what the motive was in this case. In Jacksonville, we're still waiting on police to identify a body that was found in the St. Johns River Saturday. The body was found in the water near the Florida Times Union Center downtown, and that is the same area where a man went missing Friday, but it's not really clear if this is the same person.
Happening today, a little fireworks show comes early. SpaceX is going to make a second attempt to launch its Falcon 9 rocket tonight.
It was supposed to take a communication satellite into space last night, but it was called off at the last minute. I mean, last second.
Yep.
Really, 9 seconds to go. The launch window at Cape Canaveral tonight opens at 7:37. All right, we showed you this video last week. Boy, did this look strange. Tarps over St. Augustine City Hall and Lightner Museum because the place was being tented and fumigated for termites. But the good news is this morning the tarps have been taken down ahead of schedule. There were termites in the building, and so the city paid $385,000 to get rid of them. The tarps came off a full day earlier, came off Saturday. I saw them coming down. Of course, this then frees up the businesses inside to be hopefully open for the 4th of July and all the tourists that come in and out.
Our Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp got a little love from ESPN last night. That catch, deservedly so. What a snag by Shrimp center fielder Braxton Lee. Sunday featured in SportsCenter's top 10. By the way, he also had a home run in the second inning of that game. Man wants to get called up to those Marlins. Shrimp won it 6-4 and play again tonight, and got some fireworks tonight as well. Tomorrow morning, a special guest going to be with us here on GMJ. So many of you will be off for the 4th of July, but wake up a little early with us as Chef Tony will be here from the Public Cooking School. Going to give us some ideas, some fresh ideas. Listen, burgers and dogs are great, but he's going to spice it up a little bit for us.
Shake things
well.
up.
Mike?
And I challenge you all, especially Lou, to cornhole. I'm going to bring in a cornhole tomorrow. We're going to see who can bring it home.
Bye, Mike.
Okay.
Whatever.
Lou, you're going down.
Jeez,
Take a look at the 7-day forecast. 92 today. I think we're going to get all the plans in, including the World Golf Village fireworks. Tomorrow, downtown St. Augustine, Jess, the fort. Gosh, it doesn't get much better because these are splash and dash storms between mainly about 3 and 7 o'clock each day.
Okay, that's good for the fireworks.
Your traffic this morning, I tell you what, look at the Buckman Bridge. You can tell it's got to be a holiday weekend because you don't see bumper-to-bumper traffic out there. So that's great. If you do have to work today, at least traffic isn't as bad.
Katie, thank you so much.
You guys know how to have a fun morning.
Mike needs to go and squeeze a stress ball or something. You're getting too competitive. Have a great day, everybody. See you in a half hour.
It's the pygmy seahorse.